Cornelius. I am your host, Cornelius, and I'm grateful to have Lady Shante and Orlando with me in the booth. They are always behind me, but now they're beside me. And just those two words, behind and beside, are preaching points. Because when you know who he walks with and how he talks with you, he's beside you. And surely goodness and mercy shall always follow you. That's behind you. So we serve a God that can get beside and get behind. And the old deacon said, he goes before you as a leading lamb and comes behind you as a well-guided, protecting angel. It's vocal and verbal memory. It's conversations with Cornelius. Mr. Boyd and I were talking on last week, and we were talking about fasting and the importance of fasting and how fasting truly breaks yokes and brings clarity and awareness to us as believers and children of God, and it has its health benefits as well. So I don't need to introduce my guests. They are not my guests, they are my mentors. But Lady Shante, when you hear the word fasting, what comes to mind first?
Consecration.
Let's start deep.
No, I'm very serious.
Can we just be like lady friendly?
Consecration.
Break that down. Consecration. Talk to me. Let's walk. Let's walk through that. Well, you are a, I'm not gonna say veteran, but you're a seasoned practitioner when it comes to this discipline. I'm gonna say that based upon our relationship. Yeah. So you can use the word consecration before somebody coming off the street and they don't understand some of the terminology.
Sure. Well, you asked me what was the first thing that came to my mind. So
go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
So it's basically setting yourself apart for time dedicated to God, to your relationship with God, and pulling away from the things of the flesh. We talk about biblically inspired fast. Of course, that surrounds food, but in today's age, people fast from different things, social media, which I think we should because it can be even a bigger distraction than food. We may not necessarily call it fast, but it's definitely something that we need to do. Sometimes disciplining ourselves to come off of social media. But yeah, so it's setting yourself apart from the things of the flesh for a certain period of time.
Consecration. We will unpack that word throughout the day. Mr. Boyd, what about you? When you hear the word fasting, what comes to mind?
Like you said, just the general word is not eating.
Right.
Um, and not eating for a certain amount of time. I was grown before I understood that breakfast was break fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't know that.
I didn't either. It was breakfast.
It was breakfast.
It was not break fast.
It wasn't break fast. But I understood it. You know what I mean? So, but when I say recent revelation in the last 6 months in fast has changed my perspective on it mightily. And I think that's what started our conversation. And so typically in a fast, when they use the word consecration, that is a definitely a semblance of it. But there's a certain way of when you describe it from a fast and then abstaining. Would you say that those are the same or different? Because abstaining is different. When she talked about social media, to me that's abstaining.
Okay.
Because
sacrifice.
No, you stop doing something. You know what I mean? But fasting, you are submitting. You are basically telling your flesh you're going to submit during this amount of time. And in that time when you are going through that, when the hunger pains that flesh is still pulling on you, that's the time that you should really be going more intensely in prayer and asking God, what is it in this time that I am to receive from you in this? But anyway, we'll unpack a little bit more as we go.
I would say this. You asked a twofold question about, I guess the food versus the social media. In this era, I do know people that would rather be on social media than eat.
Yeah. It's a strong.
Like it is that. Right. right. Like it I'm not saying, let's just say Lady Shantae. Little Shantae, she 15, now she's 21. Her morning routine for 2 hours before she goes to school with social media. 5:43, 6:43, 7:43. She's on social media on the bus stop. She's on social media at breakfast. She go to first period. Her teacher tell her to put up social media, her phone, and she's really literally having an anxiety attack. She's going through some physiological changes because the algorithm has jump started her day. So when you get to individuals like that, that's a real, you really need to pull back because that is really affecting not only your output but your intake.
So how much is that then on from the spiritual side, especially from the mental, and then from a physical side? That's the question I'm having because, as I said, using it from a difference from the fasting from or abstaining. Um, I guess some people can look at it in a couple of different ways, but I'm still coming from the standpoint of that God gave us this physical body, and it comes with 4 distinct cravings that the body absolutely goes through, and we know what they are. You have water; the body naturally craves water. The body naturally craves sleep. The body naturally craves food, and then the other one, of course, is sexual intimacy, right? But when we talk about submitting to the flesh, anything biblical is talking about, it is usually around the food and abstaining from the pleasures, right? I don't know where it talks about that, about, abstaining from things that in mind of social media or anything.
It's not a biblical fact.
I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying from that standpoint, we're talking about the core of fasting. Now, I understand it from a symbolic type of situation because we could say, man, I need to fast from sports. And I have used that in the past and be like, man, I'll be so consumed with football and everything. Like I said, man, you know what? I need to take a break from this. And I would call that a fast. But is it though? That's my question.
In general, yes. Anything that you give up that you know that's where you need to shift focus, that's a discipline, that's a fast, generally.
Okay.
Lady Shantae earlier on the outset said consecration. That's where we start, to me, dumping, and I hate to use the word dumping, where we start meshing all of the other spiritual disciplines. But I think anything that you understand that's taking your focus away from tuning into your inner self and to your higher power, for us is God. I think that is something that you need to consider. Okay, I'm going to fast from Sunday football, or at least the first game, and take that time to pray during the game. That recenters you. To me, it recalibrates you, and it helps adjust your self-awareness.
But is that what I'm coming back from that definition of abstaining? Just say, for example, when someone makes that choice to say, you know what, I am going to, before marriage, I'm not going to have sex. They use the word abstain from. They don't say fasting.
Right.
Somebody don't say, you know what, I'm going to fast from sex until I get married. It's not used in that sense. But that, in effect, that's what if you're. It's the word is abstain, correct? Right. So, and that's why I come back from, like, I think a lot of things in the society, definitions start to be, they start convoluting things.
Great.
Yeah.
Real
Go ahead.
No, I'm just, I mean,
No,
we crave, we want, we
fleshly,
desire,
fleshly
sex,
from the flesh.
but you don't have to have it in order to live. You have to eat
to live.
So fasting is not something that is supposed to be permanent. It's something that's supposed to be temporary for whatever time frame that you have set aside so that you can shift your focus back on what matters, who matters, which is God, His Word, being able to hear, and all of those things. So, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, we could get caught up in terminology, but at the end of the day, I think when you can understand your vices, when you can understand the things that are pulling your focus away, because for some people, they eat, but they ain't really gotta eat. Like, they good with a little
Right.
small meal a day.
Right.
So, it's not as big of a sacrifice to them if they gotta, just do liquids for a few days or whatever. And then some people, they're foodies. So the terminologies, I mean, we can, spend a lot of time on that, but I think the more important thing is understanding that at some point, especially if you plan on being a disciple of Jesus Christ, you have to do things that are going to put you in a position to where you can hear, you can focus on Him and His Word, and you can crucify your flesh. And the more you do that, the stronger your spirit becomes. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day, so that you can have victory in different areas of your life, is because your spirit is strong. If you never crucify your flesh, your spirit doesn't gain strength. That's the only way that it happens, because you keep doing it. So I think, to me, that's more of the focus.
I love it. So tell me, lady, in your many years and attempts, bring me to a place or a story where your self-awareness was heightened because of the fast.
Where my self-awareness is heightened because of the fast.
Yeah. After the fast,
After the fast.
Or during the fast,
Yeah.
just becoming more self-aware, having that awareness of God being literally beside you, God being in you, God being above you, God being behind you, God being around you.
Yeah.
The presence of God.
Yeah, I can remember, and it was from social media and media. So I mean, I know we're kind of interchanging the words here, but I remember. I'm not gonna say I heard him audibly this time, but I remember just feeling that impression, like you need to back off of this for a few days or whatever. So I made that decision, and I just remember that day that I started to do that, like I felt so much peace. It was like it expanded in my heart. I was just trying to describe it. I felt so much peace. I felt His presence, and it was like He was pleased with my decision, right? Because, like you said, I mean, we all can get caught up scrolling, typing, seeing who looking, all of that. And so I remember that time, and I was like, okay, well, and it encouraged me to keep going, because I felt like it was something, He wanted to say to me, something instruction He wanted to give. So I remember that vividly, and that was, I mean, that's been since I've been here in Nashville, so maybe about 7 years ago. I remember that particular instance. But a lot of times for me, when I'm fasting, my dream life gets very vivid, very vivid, and I enjoy that, because I'm a dreamer, and there's times where I go a long period without really having enough dreams, but my dream life gets very vivid, and I feel like it's another way that the Lord is communicating with me.
So Orlando, for me, as lady was speaking, when I entered fast, before I had the concept and idea, capacity to just receive more of God. Like she said, it expanded in her heart. She felt it. I used to look, it's crazy, but I have to say it this way. I used to kind of look for fleshly manifestations, not so much sexual, but some type of outward feeling. Yeah, but now it's a capacity on the inside to know I'm more aware of His presence in my life, more so than getting to church and laying hands and doing some of those things that manifest what we call spirituality. It's an expansion of what I know that's probably in me that's dormant, but it's like, wow, like, yeah,
that's giving you power.
Yeah, and ideas. Like you said, dreams.
Absolutely. For me, as I said before, it was just about getting through fast.
Early on,
7 days, hey man, just get through this thing. But it started to transform when I really, connected in, everything, my praying language, all of that, and it became where now it's not even it's what we wouldn't say, it wouldn't be scheduled. It's like when the Lord speaks to you, okay, it's this time you need to fast. Like you said, we need that recharge. Many people know me that I'm not even a big eater, so for me, I struggle with giving up food ain't a problem for me.
That's not your.
Yeah, I mean, because I can go all day without eating. sometimes when I'm just working and busy. So the sacrifice of food wasn't as prominent, but it came down to a point of, having, as I said, the discipline. Okay, you're not eating anything, especially sweets, whatever, just shut everything down. But as I got more mature into it, it was that, as I said before, it can be impulsive. It can be a Sunday night and say, God can speak to me and say, no, you're going to fast for the next 3 days. And it wasn't like, oh, I got to prepare, I got to do, okay, this is what it is. And then, even after 3 days, sometimes I didn't have a problem with, okay, if it needs to continue. Because, okay, maybe I need to hear more from God. It's like they're getting that supercharge. So that really changed it for me, having a better understanding. And then at the same time, really understanding, like, yeah, I need to have my flesh under control. And what does that look like when I'm talking and giving my testimony and things? Because sometimes and this once again, this is just me. I'm sorry, but I always look at the what's the fruit of anything when you're talking about from a fast or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people fast or say they in the fast. They do the what use that first year. They do the 21-day fast or whatever like that. Some people call it 21-day diet in a sense. And then they get back to the rest of the year and they pick up even more weight. So what is, when you're praying for certain things, you going through and you really saying you're gonna have your flesh under submission, can that really be practiced over and over and over again in between your fasts? And if you're not basically going into a fast as a obligation, what it said in the Bible, you should pray, fast, and give, right?
That's right.
Now, you shouldn't be doing any of those begrudgingly. To be honest, let's keep it real. You shouldn't be begrudgingly giving. You should be praying without ceasing, and also putting the fast into that category as well. That you shouldn't be only operating in corporate fast, but being open to saying, when is God gonna, God, next time I'm gonna fast? That's the last fast I just got through with. That was my whole in like seriously. I'd never been this way. Okay, God, I'm waiting on you. Tell me when I'll fast again. You know what I'm saying?
That corporate piece, you said a lot. First of all, just getting through it. Not a babe in Christ.
That's right.
And Jesus talked about it. Don't have a sad countenance. He says that, your appearance. But then it comes with the knowledge and the understanding of why you're fasting. It's not about just, Lord, let me get through these days without.
That's right.
But it's still teaching us a level of sacrifice in presenting our bodies. Consecration. Like I said, early on, it was that. It was still kind of a fleshly idea. I'm still tying it to some things. The fast was really never tied to the spiritual disciplines that they were designed to be tied to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all are growing in grace. When somebody mentions a fast, oh, let's talk.
That's right.
Like, let's talk now. You said another thing that was interesting. It can become a casual diet.
Mm-hmm.
You will lose. If you give up meat, you're going to lose. You give up some things, you're going to lose. But my thing, Shante, where I was really struggling early in my walk with God, not getting the wisdom to come off the fast the correct way. I remember one time, and Shante, I pictured it to you. I went 3 days, we was in high school, we had read the book, Divine Revelation of Hell. We was big on, being sanctified. That was a book. I don't know if people have read it. Y'all have not read it, go get the book. We fasted for 3 days, liquids only. But I knew at 11:59, Pizza Hut had that super supreme. What? What's talking about?
Oh.
What?
Oh,
God.
I know it's called.
Sausage had a language. Better than the tongue. Pepperoni? Oh, Jesus. You hear me? And I got sick because I came off the fast and immediately dove head down.
All the other
That
things.
man throwing up everywhere and not right. Not knowing that you need to have wisdom.
Absolutely.
To walk back your body back through.
Absolutely.
Its physiological
Absolutely.
phases
Absolutely.
after in your mind.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Lane. You good?
Because like I said, when you come off a fast, your body is naturally detoxing. getting a lot of that stuff out. So what you're doing, like you said, you immediately introduce that same toxic back into it.
Had ordered the pizza at 9:43. Rapid, the pizza was ready.
Ready for you.
But see, mindset though, that goes back to my mindset. I was doing good and did great. That last day I was getting weak. I was like, well, we got through it, but it was like, order the pizza, go as soon as clock strike 12.
Mhm.
And that's the incorrect way. People don't understand. Yes, you have that victory of abstaining and your victory of focus. But when you come back, you have to gradually walk yourself back
Absolutely.
through that.
Absolutely.
And then you have to gradually, not your body, your mind.
My mind. Absolutely. And that's the part I think
Your
that,
mind.
but see, here's what I come back to from the fruit of the fast, right? Because as you are receiving things, sometimes we're always just about what we want God to.
Mhm.
Okay, God, yeah, I'm fasting to get some more revelation in my walk and all that, things like that. But you know this firsthand, you know what I mean? When you have certain health issues, you can only fast a certain way anyway, right?
I'm a diabetic.
Exactly.
Right now.
You can't,
Right
you
now,
can't,
I'm a
there's certain
diabetic.
things you have.
Mhm.
But when we look at one of the main issues that's going on in our community, and I say our community is dealing with our health, and our health mainly is derived from the foods that we eat. If we look at the fast from that standpoint, I think in our community, in our spiritual life, all of those things would open up a whole new realm of another relationship with God. And I only say it and point it that way is because when we go into a lot of times with these fasts and we say, well, we're supposed to give up, like especially the Daniel fast, you're giving up certain things, you know what I mean? And it's technically considered a partial fast, right? Okay, whatever it is. But as you say in your mind, when you come with that discipline and you say, man, I got this spiritual cleansing and I'm getting this revelation, why wouldn't somebody want to do that more often and practice that discipline? So therefore, it should translate to your health being better. That's the only part I'm really just kind of like advocating more of with that from the praying, the giving, and the fasting side of things, right?
Right.
It should be part of your, you know what I mean? And people shouldn't look at it begrudgingly to do a fast because what it, and that's where it comes in where you say give up my turnip greens, give up my whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever the pleasure food is. That in the sense people don't look at it as that level of discipline that they should and could and make sure that they don't give King Stomach full reign over them.
Yeah, but that's right. Say, how can you run your country if you can't run your state? Son say, how can you run your state if you can't run your region? How can you run your region if you can't run your county? How can you run your county if you can't run your street? How can you run your street if you can't run your house? How can you run your house if you can't control your appetite? Like, but you said it, King Stomach. And that's still part of the flesh.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Like for Thanksgiving, we just had Thanksgiving. We just had our favorite holidays. Our plates be like this.
Absolutely. People eat and get sick.
Like we eating pounds of food
Yeah.
just because it's available.
Yeah.
Not disciplining ourselves. High blood pressure, diabetes, just so many health issues that could be curtailed if we were just disciplined.
Yeah. Now it's a thing where there's nothing about feasting because feasting is part of the fellowship and everything to that from the standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing where I'm not saying that it fits like what is what's the word? Was gluttony?
Yeah.
Gluttony, overeating, everything like that.
7 deadly
Yeah. So I'm not saying that you should feast where you're gluttonous, but there is a point of having eating in that special time and everything like that. But what I'm coming back from is that in the periodics, everybody's going to go through those seasons and everything where you say, man, I need to hear from God. Why? Yeah, and you going through prayer. Hey, pray for me. Okay, we pray. Are we going to fast? Are we going to, that's the thing that I'm saying. And once again, I'm just coming from my recent revelations in some of my previous recent fasts that changed my perspective on it. And I understand people may, govern themselves accordingly on how they may view it, but I just wanted from my thing to show what it revealed unto me and that fasting should be a regular, and I'm saying a regular occurrence in the believer's life as much as you give and you pray. Fasting is there.
Jesus said, "Except your righteousness exceed that of the Pharisees and scribes,
Absolutely.
you shall no way enter in." And the Pharisees said, "I fast twice a week." But if you're not in that disciplined community to understand the benefits of it, and you ride down the street, you can grab this, you'll be eating all the time. Last question, Lady Shante. We off here. Our time is up. Lady Shante, how does Jesus fasting shape our understanding of spiritual warfare? Or your fast. Let's just say your fast. When you
Well, that is a
fast.
form of spiritual warfare.
Okay, talk to me about that. We got 2 minutes.
Fasting is a form of spiritual warfare. You are crucifying your flesh. You are using praise, worship, the word, prayer as your weapon. And you are getting more in tune and stronger in your spirit. And that's really where the battle is, in the spirit realm.
Spirit.
So yeah, he's our example, and he did it, so we should do it, and we need to consider, all the areas where we need disciplines, and continue to
Practice
work on
them.
those things,
Practice.
practice them, and crucify our flesh daily.
Let me say this. I knew a man who thought he was going to do a 40-day fast, water, juice on. It almost killed him. So you have to use wisdom in this thing. I mean, I get it. Like, I want to get there, but I know I take medicine. So that ain't even an option for me.
Yeah, and once again, if you're talking about from a partial standpoint of it, when you go into it, that can make a big difference. You know what I mean? And you asked the question about Jesus, and everybody knows in the Bible Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and of course that was a time when Satan purposely, came in and tried to influence him. But it's interesting in the Bible when it said after he finished it, the angels came
and ministered
to him. Ministered to him that time. Yeah. And as you say, sometimes people break their fast a certain way. But nah, the longer it may be, even if it's a 3-day or on 7 and do whatever like that, you should be getting ready and gaining a lot more too. But anyway, fasting is a lot to unpack. I pray anybody that they're going into one definitely do their research and make sure that they get the most out of it. Just don't do it just to be doing it and just being part of the crowd. It is something specifically for you.
Saying all that getting, get what? Hey y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to Conversations with Cornelius. We are not at the talk, y'all. We are at our time. We will see y'all same place, same time. Jesus is the reason for the season.